kick off, please, Dozo. We first did this seminar about a decade ago, and we chose this seminar mostly because we didn't have time to really put anything formal together. Maybe we can for next week. And second, it really kind of lends itself to this format, being two-dimensional. We don't have to do too much moving or anything else. As you guys know, that Uechi, our type of karate, is a striking-based, target-based striking system, right? But there's a way that we can kind of work around and kind of build that into all our training. So what we did is we have 5 essential steps that we use to build up a target-based striking system, or power striking, as we call it, right? So I'll enumerate them really quickly. 1, punch them where your hands are. 2, location, location, location. 3, combinations. 4, move through the hit through the move, right? And 5, just slip my hand. Oh, 12-inch roll, the 12-inch roll, my bad. Okay, now all these things, you can't have one without the other. You might have a predominance of one, but not the other. So they're all kind of somewhat important. They're all kind of linked together. Okay, I'm just going to move this really quick. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to start with number 1. We all work on Sanchin here. And the reason we do Sanchin is so that the body kind of works together for the set of assumptions that we need. A lot of people will have their hands this way, and they'll turn, and everything kind of works out what they do. We work it out of Sanchin. So when I say strike from where your hands are, I'm talking about how the body kind of lines up for maximum efficiency with the set of assumptions that we get. For example, if I'm doing a strike and my hand moves this way as I go to do the strike, you can see everything breaks down the shoulder. Right? And that's what a tendency a lot of people will do. So the first thing that you want to do is have your elbows in front of you, hands, elbows, about 90 degrees here. Now I have a picture down here. I can't really share it to you guys, but it's a picture from a Jack Dempsey book, and he's talking about the classical boxing position, and it's just like that. And if you look at the one from Uechi-ryu's book, it's just like that. So 2 different types of actual fighting, around the world different, but yet the same. Okay, so when you strike from where the hands are, it means more than just the hand position. It means the hand position in relation to the body. If I move my body to this way, I move it this way, my hands don't move with me. And what ends up happening is I have something that isn't aligned, and it's going to cost me in speed and time. When I say to lock my hands in position, I do this. Right? So now everything's lined up. So when I move and I shift, everything is there. If I want to put everything just kind of goes from here. So everything's lined up perfectly to move. So number 1, strike where your hands are, but that means your whole body position. Now going on with that is something we call a set in our body. A set means that you're ready to kind of throw the technique. So Ty and I were fighting, get your hands like we're fighting, and I moved like this and I wasn't set. I have a big hole in my defense because I can't hit. So every time I move, I'm set, ready to hit, ready to strike. Right? So every time you move, that hand position is a body position. And when you strike, it's a body position more than anything else. We say strike from where your hands are, we mean how your whole body moves together for your hands. Now let me just pause right here. We're focusing on strikes right here. And in Uechi, a lot of our strikes are specialty strikes. We'll get to that in a little bit. We're focusing on strikes here because elbows, knees, kicks, all that stuff is important. But the hands kind of bring everything kind of together, rope everything together. So before I do an elbow strike, the hand might be there at the same position. So if I say strike where your hands are, I mean the same thing for an elbow strike or anything else. So when I say strike where your hand, from the hand where your hands are, I'm talking about having your body always in the same position in relation to not just you, but to your target. So as I move, everything's along. One of the sayings we use down here is how dangerous, how walking. Every time I move, my alignment is there towards Ty, so that all I have to do when I strike is release. That's all I need to do. Okay, so that was the first point. Second point kind of dovetails right into that, and that's location, location, location. We're a target-based striking system. We have specialty weapons like bushkins and nukates. If you look at our advanced kata, all of them are open hand strikes using bushkin, like I said, shokin, nukate, elbow. Very rarely do you see the flat fist in Uechi kata. Now, although I'm a big fan of hitting a location, I'm also a realist. When Ty and I are going at it, we're sparring a little bit. It's so difficult for me to land a blow to a smaller target, particularly when he's hitting back. Now, I understand the sparring situations are different than fighting situations. Fighting situations are a lot faster, the distances are closer, you have less time to really make a mistake and things like that. But it's the same basic idea. Right? Now, my hand to hand, I can strike, that's fine and stuff, but I have to prepare myself for the fact that if I can't hit the location, that I'm going to hit anything that I want. Anything I can. So we're up here fighting like this, and he ties in the right position this way, and I blast into his arm, right? I blast into his body, I blast it into his shoulder. Whatever I hit, I want to break. But I do want to go for location. So one of the things we do is we macrolize, we make a bigger target, right, than we need to. So we break the body into quadrants, 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people do it above the shoulder, above the waist, or below. It doesn't really matter. If I'm to the side of the tie right here, it's the same idea. I'm going to say center ear, because if I hit center ear, if I'm a little high, a little low, a little front, a little back, I'll still get what I want. If the only bad part, I would say, if I do something center target here, is hit him on the shoulder. Right? Even if I hit him on the shoulder, it's going to lock him a little bit, which will bring us to our next topic. So again, you want to take a target that's going to give you the maximum return for what you do and the minimum exposure if you make a mistake. So if I say I'm going to try to hit Ty in his left eye from the right side with my little fingertip, if I try to do that and I miss, I'm pretty much, screwed. All right, so again, we're going to go for the target, the location, right? But we're also going to hit with hard speed as much as we can, quickness. Now again, if we break the body into quadrants, up here, hard muscle, more exposed. More down here, more here, more here. So you kind of have to know what you're going with. So now those targets are only going to appear very, very quickly. So a drill that we do really, really quick. Example, right? Really going to do really, really quick. And it's called flash pads. Now beginners can start this off really, really simply. We do this on the dojo all the time. Oh, the other way. Yeah. And we do this more than we do the rest. Now the flash pad is really simple. What you're trying to do is get your partner to work out the set position. So Ty's in the set position. I hide the pads here. We'll start really simple. We'll start with left, right. So all we're going to do is flash left, this one. Okay. Flash left, flash right, flash left, flash right. Now what he's trying to do is notice how long it takes him to get that technique up. Once you get that, you do it randomly. Once you get that, you start moving. So you have to move into a set, you flash that pass. Flash that pass. Because what's going to happen is that when you're in a fight, when it's a good sparring match, you'll be covered up in that 1 little second he's going to open and your body has to react to that. The idea that you're going to block and counter a reactive type of like an idea of reacting. Sorry. And I did that you're reacting to what he's doing. So he punches something, and I'm going to block and counter. Already put you behind the counter. So what happens, he punches, and I decide just to be in here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to clear the area and block. We'll vigilant. So again, the location is there. Right? It's an opportunist type of thing. He punches like this. It's an opportunity type of thing. But I'm also saying to myself, I want to hit him. So I just punch him as I need to kind of move. I know that's a little bit cryptic, but I hope you get the idea. Okay. So we have our hands in a position. We're always ready to strike, always ready to strike, always ready to strike, ready to do. And as soon as something opens up, we fire that technique. We fire that technique. Here we have to clear an area. So strike from where your hands are, body always in a set position. 2, location, location, location. Go for the target. Make sure it's a bigger target than a smaller target. But if you can hit that smaller target, you got the guy stunned, then go for it. But make sure that you always hit with power. Now, if it doesn't land, it doesn't count. I get it. So you might want to start with something easy. So I get people all the time saying, I will just hit them in the throat. Well, good luck with that. Let me know how that turns out. Okay, number 3, 12 to 18 inches. Now, two things happen. We do this all the time. Okay, you know that? All right. 2 things happen all the time. Take a half a step back, a little higher. We do this all the time. You need acceleration to get the job done. That's where the power is going to come from. Speed is how fast you go. Acceleration is how fast you can go fast. Okay. Now, along with acceleration, we talked about body being set to be in an efficient form. If I go to hit this bag really, really hard and my body form, my structure isn't off, this is what it looks like. You can hit him pretty hard, right? But he doesn't really move. Now, if I just do this, I should probably tell him before I do that. Sorry, I should probably tell him. The only thing I did that was different, instead of generating all this power and not have it really be delivered, all I did was just have it be delivered. Now, when we do Sun-Chin, we align the body up to here before we release our power. And that right there is exactly our Sun-Chin swing. So now when we fight, it's here, and we fire from Sun-Chin. So we get a lot of action, right? Now, when I'm doing this, there's a rotation aspect to it and a linear aspect. The rotation aspect looks like this. Okay? The linear aspect looks like this. And putting them together and snapping them, that's when you're going to start to get your power. So now, when I say 12 inches, when I say 12 inches, everybody said, guys, when we're sparring, we're over here like this, we're sparring. You get all the room that you need. But if he's got his hands on me like that, we're here like that, you need a certain amount of room, not only to get the acceleration of the punch so it's effective, but also for your body to line up. So if I start to go, let's do this thing. Let's do this. I need my body to line up and accelerate the hand through the technique. Now, everybody's talking about, what's that guy? Bruce Lee, right? And they're doing this 1-inch punch thing and stuff. Yeah. So if I'm here and tie, and I do this 1-inch punch thing, watch what happens. You see, you can move him and stuff. You can affect his body, but it's more like a push. Even if I really, really snap my hips and did it hard, it gets a little jerky and stuff like that, but it's still a push because your body hasn't had time to line up for the strike. Now, if I do from 12 inches out here, give or take 18 inches or so like that, now as I do it, my body has time to line up. Now I can kind of release and hit him. The problem is when you're up really close like that. What people tend to do is to pull their hand back or lift their body up, and you don't want to do that. The first action we do in Sun-Chin is we pull our elbow to our hip, so our body rolls under, so our hips get nice and soft. So we're up tight close like this. Instead of pulling your hand back this way, rotate him this way. Go up. Right. So if I drop my hip here, watch how back my hand goes. So from here, now I can kind of hit him. But here I can really kind of release it. I've got my 12 or 18 inches. So you're going to make up the action, the distance that you need by flexing your knees and moving your body. So instead of pulling back this way, you're going to drop your elbow to your hip, and now you can range. So here's my hand right here. It's how close to the top. Just by dropping here and rotating slightly, I've created that distance. The distance you need, the reason you need that is when you rotate your body and follow through, right, you want to accelerate. And the acceleration is going to give you the power. But you need time to torque your body and move that lever, have a go. So, again, strike from where your hands are. Location, location, location. About 12 inches. You can do a little bit less, but maybe a little bit more for more beginner type things. Now, the next one is combinations. If you watch our style, you'll always see us doing combinations and moving. We're one of the few karate styles, I want to say about the only karate style that I know of that doesn't leave the arm exposed. We always bring it back here, bring it back this position. We see the kata constantly throwing combinations. The problem is that when we start to train, we kind of train that up. We'll do a step and a punch, and we'll stop. We'll step and block, and we'll stop. We'll do the kata. We'll stop. We'll stop. And you need to be fluid when you move. Now, when you do a combination, first of all, let's just give a quick definition of a combination. A combination is two or more techniques, and the combination is over when your body weight passes through. So if I do this, the combination is over here, because now what I have to do is reset my hips, reset my weight, right? So this is a combination. That's not a combination. That's a combination. You can do this 1, 2, but that's 2 combinations, maybe 3 chained together. So once you learn how to chain techniques together, you learn to chain those combinations together, and now you're hitting. The reason that you want to do combination is twofold, or more than twofold. But one, you'll do more damage. It's hitting them once hard, hit them twice hard, hit them 3 hard. That'll do more damage. That'll put the person on 2. You want to be aggressive, right? You want to be aggressive, but still in control. So if I put everything on 1 punch and stop, well, it might not work. If I hit him and hit him and hit him and hit him until he stops doing what he's doing, then, we're a little bit better off, and, it kind of works better that way. Now, the mantra that we use for combination is using, again, the way the body wants to work. So if you fire your left hand, right? Then your right hand's available. You can double up on the left, you can double up on the right, but you're kind of finding your body. So we do left, we can do right. If we do right, then we have left. So if I do a left kick, we go right into right, but it's really, really hard to do both sides and maintain your balance. Balance means doing what you need to do when you need to do it. So combination should go left, right, top, bottom. So the stronger combination that you can do is if I do a left hand, right, then that right leg. If I do the right hand, right, left hand. If I do the right hand, it's hard to do that front foot because the weight is shifting. If I come back on it, I don't extend. So left, right, top, bottom, right, left. Right? Combinations. Now, if you tie combinations in with the quickness, you're striking where your hands are with the location. And remember, with combination, we said the combination is over when the weight comes through. We'll talk about that on the fifth and last point. Right? But the weight has to shift through. So again, let me get tying this ball. Right? Again, if I strike tie and I keep my weight flat here. Right? We see this all the time with people doing the side shit. They do this, they try to keep their body still because, you know, they were told. So as you strike, if your body weight is going to come forward, your belt has to shift forward, your front knee has to bend. Now, if your front knee bends and your head bends, you grow construction your back and everything will go up to your hips. So again, here it is just by, I won't do any rotation just to keep it simple. Here's the strike with your hips straight. Now, by simply just letting my weight fall that much in, watch the difference. Huge, huge difference. Now, if you put the rotation in and the quickness, now you can start to deliver. Thank you. Right. Again, that's something you have to build into your training. However you train is what you're going to do under stress. So if you train, then that's exactly what you're going to do. If you train, then that's exactly what you're going to do under pressure. Okay, so punch where your hands are. Location, location, location. 12 or so inches or so for acceleration combinations. Now, the last part is kind of like the hardest to kind of express and get things through. It's something that you have to train into your kata from the very, very, very beginning. We get a lot of guests come down and they're excellent, excellent martial artists. You know, our style of Uechi guys, our association even, but they train a little bit more. For the way the art form versus the effect. We train a very, very narrow scope of what we do, more jitsu than do. Neither one is better, neither one is best. It's just a different philosophy. So we train our guys from day one, a certain action, a certain movement that we can leverage off to this next point. For others, are more static and not moving their bodies. Those guys, I have a difficult time untraining. I can always get my guys to be more still, but it's hard to get still guys to be, you know, more mobile. Just like it's harder to get somebody who's fighting at this distance to learn how to fight in close. If you get a guy that fights in close, it's easier to bring him out here and let him do. The last one is simply titled "Move through the hit to the move." And we talked about that just now a little bit. So hands up. So when I hit tie here, what a lot of people do is they'll hit and they'll be static, and guess what's going to come back after that? Yeah, he's going to crush it. So when I hit him, my body moves forward. So when I hit him, my body moves forward. Now, as you see, if I did that, my left knee bends, right? Just like we do in sun check, I just let my left knee bend a little bit. What that does is it takes my head outside his kill zone. So his hands are right there, and I drop over here. What I've done is move the target from his vision, forcing him to find me again and readjust. While he's doing that, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing combinations. So now instead of this, what I'm doing is I'm firing here. I'm dropping my way through here, my hand up the right, I'm doing it. Now my whole body kind of works back and forth. What I'm doing by doing this, just like we do in Sanchin, we shift our weight to this foot, now walk on this foot, back and this foot. Now I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see my feet. In kata, we do this thing called a cat stick. And a lot of people really, really don't understand some more advanced ideas of cat stick. So once I do this, right, it's easy for me to move forward. Now if I do this, you can go back and forth. So if I do this, look how much weight I'm transferring and shifting. So we always have our weight transfer. So now, right, I'm just going to exaggerate this. When I'm throwing that right hand, my feet are going. Okay. Now I transfer my weight here to that left one. Again, transfer my weight to that right one. So a simple drill like transferring our kata. In the kata, it looks like this. In the kata, we actually do that. If we use it for effect, all that weight goes into the technique. If you do this correctly, what will happen is all of a sudden Tai throws the punch, right? I move this way to block it. Let's switch sides so you can see that. But if Tai throws the punch and I do this, my head stays right now, shoulders off, and something else is going to be coming. If I do that weight transfer, that's what I get here. Now, if I put the technique into it, I can start to really kind of move. So the combination starts to come really kind of naturally if you train that in there. All right, so let me summarize. Striking with your hands up. Location, location, location. That's where you're going to hit them. Combination, that's what you're going to hit it with. 12 inches or so, because acceleration is the key component to power. Getting that rapid acceleration. Again, acceleration is how fast you go fast. And finally, the hard part, move through the hit through the move. Okay, that's it all together in a nutshell. What I'm going to do is unmute everybody. I hope.
So,
There, everybody should be unmuted.
I am.
Okay, any questions for Ty? Because Ty knows all of this.
Think so.
Is that great?
Hey, Mr. Rose, could you show it with a kick, the same motion, moving your weight with a kick?
Good question. Good question. When
Of course, it's a good.
you should be loading up for a kick or loading up for a punch. When you're in this position, whether it's a right hand or a right kick, everything should happen together. Now, what happens with the kick is obviously, let's move back this way, Ty, so you can see that. Obviously, what happens with the kick here on 1 foot, so when I drive that kick in there, right, I have to be able to do something else. I have to get that foot to the ground. So since I'm going to the ground, I might as well use weight in conjunction with the press. So what a lot of times people do is they'll kick and they'll put it down here, and again, their body as it moves. So the first thing I'll do is when I do that kick, use your cast hand. In order to get a proper cast hand, you don't lift the leg, you sink under. You sink under. You sink under versus lifting. When I lift, this leg goes straight, my body weight comes up, and I'm kind of stuck in the mud. So it's a combination that you're firing off the front leg because front leg is really cool. So instead of lifting that leg, striking, and coming down, I'll be in trouble. What I'll do is I'll do the same thing. I'll drop here. I'm in my set here, and in my set, anything in this side can come. Left hand, right kick, left kick, right kick, anything can happen. So here I'm in my set position here. I drive up there, whatever way I want, and I'll just do a strike over to the right this way. I'll strike. Now, as I strike here, what I'll do is one of two things. As I pull it back, I'll drop down and push off that real foot. So I didn't come high, strike down, and hit. I move through it. This leg here bends. I drive it, and I drive through. I always miss a little bit on Fridays, like that. So again, from here, the knee bend, everything's set. Same thing. Now, if I do a 1-2, come back, look. Because the whole trick, David, is balance. If you set yourself up for one technique, and he can read it, this is sparring more than fighting. Or if you overcommit, that's kind of like, oh, good. Hang on a sec. Zoom is offering me a free gift. There you go. If you set yourself up for one technique, or the worst thing you do, the cardinal sin, you guys all know this, is if I overcommit and I lock down, it takes me so long to get back my set. So I'm in my set position, anything can be fired. I can strike anything. Anything can be fired. So I'm not kind of putting myself off balance. Okay, the margin that we use is how dangerous, how often. And we have this all written up in a paper. You know, it's really serious need some editing. But it's all in there. One of the things we reference, if you watch some of the old fights, Mike Tyson, the custom days, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. Does that kind of answer your question about kicks?